And now she's in the car and she's realizing that she's in for the greatest obstacle of a spiritual life. She stares directly into the psychopath's right eye and wills herself to keep her gaze on him directly at all times. And the effects of a focus. She says that when she's able to focus, the psychopath behind the wheel gradually stops ranting and becomes tensely silent. And she wills herself to not plead nor beg, but to merely use focus as an opportunity to empathize. And this was my first hint of sadness in listening to this anecdote, as I had found myself admiring qualities in a story that I had been contemptuous of when I first picked her up in the park. But then he tells her to get out of the car, and she doesn't hesitate nor beg. She is experiencing a whole new depth of focus. She could hear the tick of the cooling car, bees, birds. Imagine the temptation to despair in the sound of carefree birds only yards from where you lay breathing in the weeds. And in this heightened state, she could feel the psychopath realizing the truth of the situation at the same time she did. And when he came over to her and turned her over, he was weeping. And she claimed it took no will of effort to hold him as he wept, as he raped her. She just stared lovingly into his eyes the entire time. And she stayed where he laid her in the gravel, weeping. She wept out of gratitude, she says. Now, I don't mind telling you that I'd begun to cry at the story's climax. Not loudly, but I did. She had learned more about love that day with the sex offender than in any other day of a spiritual journey. And I had learned that in that moment, I had never really loved anyone. She had also learned about the psychopath's core weakness, the terror of a soul-exposing connection with another human being.